baby.
Yeah.
Miracle, miracle serves. Miracle, miracle serves. Miracle, miracle serves. Miracle, miracle serves.
We keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of the arguing and lying. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is November the 18th, 2024, and today the topic is me and this sex thing / intercession. Happy Monday. It's Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Or whenever the last time I talked to y'all, when was that? Friday? I don't know. But yeah, I hope it was wonderful. Nice. It's good to see y'all on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? Look. Y'all know your girl's been on this hiatus, so this little sabbatical. I don't know what to even call it, but I guess for good reason. I've been on this journey. Lots of dreams, man. Even just yesterday, between yesterday and this morning, I had like 3. So, again, I guess when you pray, be for real about what you pray, because your girls out here praying for prophecy and whatnot. And listen, I've been dreaming ever since, like almost every day. So be for real, like when you be praying. But anywho. But no, it's been good, man. It's been good to be receiving and I guess replenishing or whatever it is. I guess this morning, based on the dream that I had, as well as I guess the dream that I had yesterday, it's just a combination of today's topic is from all of that. And on one hand, I'm like, well, Lord, do you want me to talk about this, or do you want me to just create some content or something, to help people or whatever the case may be? And I guess I felt led to come on in and talk, and stuff like that. And so that's why your girl's here today to talk about, look, me and this sex thing. And also with a little sliver about intercession. But anywho. So yeah, man, I felt led to come and just talk to y'all, you know what I'm saying? I guess have a moment of confessional, a transparency, aka whatever the Lord wants me to talk about in reference to this. None of this is written down. The only things I have written down is the verses centered around intercession. So when we get to that, we're gonna get to that. But I guess right now it's just my confessional moment, if you will. If you guys have questions while you're here, feel free, you know what I'm saying, to put the questions in there and I will answer them and whatnot as well. But I'm just going to share whatever the Lord feels, leads me to say and share. But yeah, man, I guess with all of this on my heart and mind this morning, I guess at some point when I felt led to, when I was given this title, I was like, okay, Lord, you want me to just share my testimony again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I saying here? But at the same time, again, I understand that there's, more people on the platform now than when I first shared my testimony. I don't intend to go all the way into it, but who knows? Whatever the Lord do, He gonna do what He do. But I guess I want to highlight some of it, right? At least when it comes to what I've been receiving, and then also what I feel led to share today about intercession and whatnot. But so, I mean, obviously, we own this platform called God, Sex, and Love, right? And I've been sharing over the past 4 years. And probably longer, because technically your girl been on YouTube for a while, talking about this type of topic. First it started with the Actress Miracle Sims YouTube, and your girl was talking about just my struggles as a single Christian woman at that particular time. Yes, I ended up writing all about it and everything like that in my book, so that's why I say I don't want to go too deep into it. But obviously this word, quote unquote, sex, right, has it plays a big part in my life. Well, all of our lives, because that's the reason why we all here, right? Most of us were conceived in that way. But what does this have to do with me, and why am I on this journey, this soapbox, right, called God, Sex, and Love? Well, without again going too deep, I would say it started from childhood. I got a whole, audio retelling all the details, or at least majority of those details. I think it's called My Testimony or something like that. So y'all got to go back and listen to a whole juice to get like a lot of details. But long story short, I mean, I've been open and honest on this platform that your girl was introduced to sexual things at a young age through molestation. I had some early exposure to, pornographic images, things of that nature and whatnot as well. To be honest or whatever. And so, obviously those things play a part on my mindset or and things like that. Um, the again, first exposure that I'm familiar with or that I can recollect is again the babysitter, right? Introducing kissing and touching and things like that. And obviously that had effect on me throughout the rest of my life. Now, why am I talking about that? Well, it's important, right? This is an important conversation because, well, one, I mean, pedophilia is a real thing. I'm not the only one out here. People go through worse things. We know, all the way to Allie and her story and whatnot as well. So obviously, this is reason, not say why we connected, but like why I could relate to her story outside of the movie that I was in. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, this is a real issue that is going on, right? People are introducing children to things. Yeah, well, you know this. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't a brand new conversation. And I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful that my situation wasn't as horrific as, for example, Allie's or some other people that have, have come and shared their testimony here on this platform. But just people I might have known over the years, or just things you might have just seen in the news, like babies went through worse things than what I went through. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, not to minimize my experience or something like that, because obviously it had an effect on me in my life. But, again, for that, I am grateful that I didn't experience like a more sinister evil, even though that could still be considered sinister evil, but horrific experience. I wasn't quote unquote raped or, things of that nature, right? It was more so again the kissing, the touching. Again, no 3-year-old. Like, I had to been like 3 or 4, something like that. So no 3-year-old, 4-year-old should be kissed and touched in a sexual manner. Let's put that on the table. And for those that may or may not know that. But what I'm saying is that, at least I wasn't, raped and penetrated or anything of that nature. Abused and with instruments or something. You know what I mean? It could be worse. So for that I'm grateful. But anyway. But that, I feel like, how did it affect me? So I would say it made me desire that feeling ever since. I'll just put it like that. It introduced me to masturbation, which was something I just did to go to sleep. Again, I've talked about all this before. I've written about it, all this type of stuff. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you didn't know, then now you know. So hopefully this will help you understand everything here when it comes to GSL. But anywho, but I'm sharing this not only because I'm just going through my past again or whatever, but also because it's having an effect on my marriage. I'll just be honest with y'all. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to figure out different things about that, right? Because I mean, y'all know this girl started therapy this year. You know what I'm saying? New thing. The Lord said it was gonna be new things this year, and that was one of my first new things that I, kind of put in place. Starting therapy and whatnot. And I would say there was a lot of things that that was my inspiration, but this is one of those things because, with it having an effect on my marriage or how I look at things or maybe my desire when it comes to, what I was expecting from marriage and sex and things of that nature. Obviously, without condemning, I don't know if that's the right word to say, but I was going to say without condemning my husband, because at the end of the day, he's a totally different individual than me. You know what I'm saying? He has his own journey and things of that nature. I'm not trying to blame him or anything like that. I'm just going to acknowledge, right, that at the end of the day, the enemy will try to use, right, any and everything to come between what God has ordained love, sex, marriage to be, right? And um, so with that being said, if I have a higher drive or more desire or whatever the case may be, and if my husband isn't on that same wavelength or whatever the case may be, there's of course it's going to be issues, and I've shared that with you guys. And even earlier this year, I shared with you guys, at least to some extent, some different things that I was going through mentally about all of this. And like I said, even questioning different aspects of my marriage, like, well, Lord, why this man then? You know what I'm saying? And help me understand, because, temptations are temptating or tempting, and things of that nature and stuff like that. And so, because I'm human out here, and at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. I'm not Jesus the Christ, and things like that. We all striving, right? And doing our best to be more and more like him if you are a true Bible believing Christian, right? But at the same time, it's like I said, I'm human and whatnot. So with all of that, right, being on my heart and mind, even all year, right, I've been sharing with you guys again, like I said, pieces of this testimony along the way. And so I feel like this year has been a lot of growth and maturity for me. I've come to some understandings and things of that nature, and I've even become, to have more gratitude and appreciation for my husband in marriage, regardless, right? Regardless of, even if things are quote unquote not the way I thought it would be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even this morning as I was praying, I was just like, Lord, maybe I don't even know for real what I really want to desire. Like at this point, what is it that I'm seeking? You know what I'm saying? What is it that I'm quote unquote wanting, or whatever the case may be? Because I guess on one hand, you try to figure out, like, why am I the way I am, right? Or why do I want the things the way I do? Or, what makes you tick? Like, I don't know if anybody else is asking yourself these questions, but, I'm being honest that, yeah, that's something that I've been wondering, like, okay, and that's, again, why I think I've started therapy for, because I'm like, well, maybe they can help me understand me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it is that is making me the way I am, or whatever the case may be. Now, I thought I went through my own understanding and journey. Like I said, when I wrote the book, that's when I came to an understanding that, what, perhaps this desire or this urge or whatever the case may be for sexual things came from that early exposure, and I was fine with that conclusion. And perhaps it did, but at the same time too, what I experienced as a single woman was like acknowledging, that some things had to change. You know what I mean? Like I had to change the way I was interacting with men. I had to change the way that I had to, pause on masturbating and doing all of that to build my spirit, right? To be where it is today. So again, it's been a journey, right? It's been a journey. And so yeah, with all of that being said, again, I thought that I had came to some type of understanding of all those things. And then here comes marriage, right? And I feel like sometimes that I'm dealing with the same things that I was dealing with as a single woman. And that's a hard place to be in. Now, I know I'm not the only one. So we're one to God be the glory for that. So if I'm speaking for any other, married woman that may be feeling, I just say unfulfilled or undesired or whatever it is, like, maybe things didn't happen the way you think it was going to happen, or maybe, there is some unfulfillment or whatever the case may be, and you're feeling as if you're single in your marriage or whatever, you know what I mean? Well, one, I guess I'm sharing to say that, hey, man, you're not alone. I felt those things. Even though I know I'm in a totally different season of my life, like at the end of the day, I know that I am married, right? And I appreciate my husband. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get that twisted around here. At the end of the day, like, I am fighting for him and our marriage and me and who I've become and all this stuff. But at the same time, I guess what I'm saying is that can get hard, right? That can get tiresome. That can be like, Lord, I'm praying for the same thing I've been praying for I don't know how long. You know what I'm saying? So it can get difficult, right? And so with that being said, I think that is going to transition us a little bit into this conversation about intercession, because I would say like the past few days, um, I've been interceding not only just for me and my own marriage and my husband, but also like, family, friends, single women, people that are married, different things of that nature. I felt led to, intercede or pray or whatever the case may be. And that's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful, place to be, that, someone, God brings somebody to your heart and mind, and you seek them about like, Lord, I don't know the details of what might be going on, but I'm going to pray or whatever the case may be. That's great. But I guess this morning, what I was, not say struggling with, but like thinking about and praying is that, as I'm in the midst of doing all this, right, for others, right, who is interceding for me right now? You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, yes, I am praying for my husband and our marriage and stuff like that. But is he out here praying for me, Lord? Like, is he receiving these dreams that I'm receiving? Because it's so interesting, because I'm over here like, especially when it came to, for example, I guess the dream that I had early this morning, before I had the little other dream after I went through some studies and stuff and interpreting and all that. Well, the first dream was kind of, without going into too many details, basically it was just kind of like, I guess reminding me of, the importance of intimacy and marriage and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like, Lord, I know this already. Why are you telling me this again? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm over here dreaming about this. Have my husband dreaming about it, I'm being honest with y'all. Look, look, I see there's some appreciation for the honesty, so I'm glad to see and hear that. Is anybody else feeling me out there? But on one hand, it's like, yeah, man, Lord, like, I know the importance of this, and so why am I over here dreaming this? You know what I mean? But at the same time, too, again, this is one of those things that led me to intercede again for me and my husband and our marriage and things like that. So if I didn't have the dream, would I have prayed the prayers? Maybe not. I don't know. So things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. But at the same time, like I said, that can get frustrating. But one of the things that I would say that I did this morning was maybe something that was needed. So last week, I don't think I told y'all, because like I said, your girl only came one day last week. But anyway, I had a conversation with a lady for a future episode of the GSL talk show, and she was talking about, how she, was learning to lament before the Lord and things of that nature. And it was a good conversation. I received it in that moment, because I was like, okay, yes, and I felt like I've had my moments. I told you guys before, like, one of the most distinct moments I remember lamenting before the Lord back when I was during the cultivation period. I was in my apartment, and I'm praying about my, single self, you know what I'm saying? Praying, letting the Lord know I'm ready for marriage now. And all the things, right? And I just remember this moment where I just was yelling up at the ceiling. And I'm on the bottom floor, so who knows what my upstairs person, if they heard me, I don't know. But anyway, I'm up there yelling at my ceiling like, can you let me in on anything? I remember saying that. And then that's why I felt in my spirit, God being like, nope. I was like, golly, but at that moment I started to laugh or whatever, because I guess I feel like me and God had these moments of humor and stuff where I'm like, okay. But what I felt in that moment, like right after I received the no, I felt in my spirit him being like, you feel better now? And I was like, yeah. And that's one of my main lamenting moments. And I'm pretty sure I've lamented since then, but probably not to that magnitude. So I guess I had some kind of moment like that this morning. It wasn't no yelling per se, but it was like just praying specifically, and being, again, open and honest and transparent about like all of the feelings, right? Because how much should I? This is why I was praying before, because I'm like, Lord, how much do I need to be sharing on this confession? I mean, there's some funny things to me now that wasn't funny in the moments. But I'll say it like this. So what I was receiving this morning about my situation is that, this is only for a season. And I'm like, well, Lord, listen, it's been seasoning. Okay. And then my thing is, look, if it's only for a season, that's fine. But look, if the season, the next season, whatever the case may be, it gonna lead to another. I was open with the Lord on this. So here it is. I guess I'm putting it out here publicly. That if this season, right, is gonna be up soon, whenever it's gonna be up, and then me and my husband be on the same page, wavelength, you know, when it comes to intimacy, and it leads to another child. Cause look, I'm open, he open, whatever the Lord gonna do, he gonna do, right? So we know what most of us know what sex leads to, right? Procreation. So if it does lead to another, some people don't know that out here apparently. But anyway, um, but yeah. So if we have another child from the new season that He's telling me is on the horizon, I'm like, look, Lord, what I don't want is what happened last season because, long story short, I don't know if it was my, me being pregnant and whatever feelings you feel. I don't know. It was my first pregnancy, so I have nothing to compare it to. You know what I'm saying? All I know is during that time, I'll say it like this. I wanted my husband all the time during that time. And he was scared to touch me during that time because it was his first child, too. And then two, he's concerned about, hitting the baby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like, what I don't want is that, Lord. You're going to have to help him understand that we're not going to hurt the baby by experiencing each other at that particular time. Because listen, now I don't know, it might be different. Maybe I won't want him as much as I did that the first time. But what I'm saying is that I'm already praying about it now. Because I'm like, look, I don't mind, getting pregnant again, having the baby. I don't mind. If that's what the Lord want to do, I was able to heal. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? As long as it goes as smooth as it went before, I'm fine. But look, we're going to have to pray about, you know what I'm saying, us being on the same page regarding that because that was hard. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was a year because of the months of pregnancy and then, the time I had to heal afterwards. So I was like, look, okay. Am I saying without saying? Okay. So anywho. So with all that being said, man, I am interceding, right? Interceding for me, my husband, our marriage. Alongside, like I said the other day, I want to say Sunday morning, I was waking up and I was interceding for other people, their marriages, single people that I know, all this type of stuff. And again, I had a moment like, so as I was lamenting this morning before the Lord and being like, Lord, well, look, I'm going to just try to be honest with you about everything then. Like if, again, the season of pregnancy, if that comes again, what I would like that to look like, just different details, just pouring out the different details to the Lord and saying, hey, Lord, since I'm lamenting, let me lament then, you know what I mean? And then at some point I just started to I thought about my past. I thought about my first encounter at some point, which is so interesting because I remember it, but I don't, if it makes any sense. And I don't know if it's relevant to this conversation per se, but or it's just another temptation or distraction when it comes to this conversation because you're thinking about your past or whatever. But anyway, I mean, I'm just being honest that I thought about that. And then at some point, I did go look at some old messages and stuff because, I mean, there's a part of me that misses Old Miracle, if that makes any sense. Because I guess Single Miracle, not that I want to go back to being single or nothing like that, or maybe even go back to that mindset because, again, there's been a lot of growing and maturing and whatnot since then. So I don't want to go back. But what I'm saying is that I guess there's part of me that misses like the way I used to express myself. You know what I mean? Like I would write songs about the things I went through with dudes, right? Or I would, write poems, or I would like write these long things, expressing myself to the men folk that I was dealing with at that particular time. And I haven't necessarily done any of that type of stuff for my marriage, if that makes any sense. Like, I mean, I have written some things down or written down my thoughts about different things, but not like that, if that makes any sense. So I thought about that as well today, or this morning. And so And then I think at that point, that's when, because, okay, here's the interesting thing. The reason why this is, I guess, is important, is that, so I told you guys how earlier this year, really, really struggling mentally, really, really seeking the Lord. Why this? Why that? Why this husband? You know, it could have been this, it could have been that. There's temptations, all the things, right? And then I started therapy, you know what I'm saying? I started to get some, you know, have another outlet. I started to challenge myself because I think I told y'all all about this, but for those that don't know, I was challenging myself to take my concerns and prayers to God first versus any other thing. So, or any person or anything like that. So I started to like write my prayers at that particular time, you know, things like that, to take it to God first. So I was challenging myself to do that. Also this year, y'all know there was some prayer and fasting time that me and my family had at least twice this year thus far and stuff like that. One time was with the church, but then the other time was just us and our family and a few of my friends. Just did like a week or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I feel like all of this stuff was very significant to get me to where I am today, to where by the time we got to our 8th anniversary, which was in September, by the time we got there, I was in a totally different mindset, to where even though things hadn't changed, right? I was okay. You know what I mean? And I think this is interesting because it's almost 9/11. So I guess this must be the 911 part of this conversation. That at the end of the day, like, what got me again, I would say, to this place of peace, right, was the prayer, the fasting, the, you know, submitting to God, the therapy, all those different type of things. And so yeah, it's been a journey this year. So what I'm saying is that now I've been, at least for the past few months, I've been in this place where I'm like, I know things ain't changed. You know what I'm saying? I know things are, you know, still ain't where I would like it to be. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. But regardless of that, I've been at peace. You know what I mean? I haven't been like mad, upset, frustrated the way I was. You know what I mean? Again, the temptations haven't been as tempting, you know, things like that, to where I've been in a good place about it. You know what I'm saying? Even when the therapist was asking me about it, about, you know, the past few sessions or whatever, I just been like, you know, at the end of the day, like, not to be like it is what it is or whatever, but kind. You know what I'm saying? I've just been in this place where I've been okay. You know what I mean? I've been okay mentally. I haven't really been thinking about it like that. Which is saying something for me, because again, I was always thinking about it before. I was very frustrated about it, and I was in a mental place of turmoil, especially earlier this year. So what I'm saying, to be in this place of peace right now, I'm like, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? You know, it's gonna have to turn around at some point. You know, prayerfully we'll be on the same page at some point. You know, all this different type of stuff. That's the way I've been feeling. And then here come these dreams. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, Lord, why you got me dreaming about this here? Because I mean, I was fine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, sure, it needs to change. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, you know, Lord, hey, I know this stuff already. Have you been giving him these dreams? Because, but again, this is what has led me to this place of intercession, right? Intercession, interceding for me, again, in our marriage, for friends, for family. And maybe some of us, and whoever's listening to the sound of my voice, I guess I share all this to say that maybe, you know, you may be called to intercede for you, your situation, your life, your friends, your family, and whatnot too. Matter of fact, I would say if you are listening to the sound of my voice, then you probably are being called to intercede for you, your family, your situation, your whatever it is that you're going through. This is, I guess, for the intercessors, right? And it's hard. I get it. Like I said, even this morning as I was doing it and whatnot, I'm like, well, Lord, who's interceding for me right now? And he was letting me know that he's interceding for me. And I'm like, okay, Lord, okay. I know you doing that, but I mean, but yeah, I mean, but that's something that we got to remember. So with that being said, let's get into these verses that I felt led to write down this morning. I see I got quite a few comments, but I'm going to have to go back and read those. Brother, who's this amazing Lovecraft, I will go back and read those in the after show because you had quite a few things to say. But all right, let me share with you guys these verses that I feel led to write down this morning about intercession. Okay, so 1 Timothy 2:1, it says, first of all, then I urge that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for all people. Now that sounds good, right? But I ain't gonna lie, when you see something like that, you like, well, Lord, you said all people. So who is, look, interceding, supplicating, praying, and whatnot, thanksgiving for me right now? You know what I'm saying? But look, here's the answer to that, right? Right in this next verse. Romans 8:26, it says, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. For we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Now, I mean, that made me feel a little good this morning. I was like, all right, Lord, I know you got me. I know you got me. But sometimes I guess we just want that validation from another human, right? I was thinking of praying about that today. I was like, Lord, I mean, maybe I am a words of affirmation person, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Why do I need these words of affirmation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like it would be better for me to not need it. You know what I'm saying? Because then, if I'm not getting it, it don't matter. But that's a whole nother conversation. We ain't got to talk about that. If we focus right on the interceding part, again, I feel like that's when, God was reminding me that He was, interceding for me, and understanding that, again, my situation is not just about me, right? And so that's another thing, because even as I was praying this morning about everything, I'm like, well, Lord, is it that I'm just supposed to make more content about this, you know what I'm saying, to help the other people? And it's because I ain't made the content yet, I keep going through it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I just need to get on it. But at the same time, too, I'm like, man, but I can't take the whole responsibility for everything, at the end of the day. And I feel like that's another thing I've been learning this year about, like, not taking on too much to take on the full responsibility of all the things, just because, yeah, I probably am supposed to make content about this. And if y'all need this marriage folks content that I'm talking about, look, women out there, if y'all need this content about, hey, women want it too, and some women ain't getting it, especially married women, then that content is coming, okay? Because look, I'm tired of the only people talking about that is the men folk, okay? Look, we hear that all the time. Women is withholding from men, and women are using it as a weapon against the man, X, Y, and Z. Man, I ain't saying that the men folk is doing that, but what I'm saying is there's women that's going without as well, okay? So let's not pretend and act like men is the only one going through that, especially married folks. I'm talking about married folks, okay? Married people, okay? So, and how frustrating that is, okay? But that's a whole nother we're going to talk about it. And if y'all need this content, that content expeditiously, then I will try to get on it as soon as possible. Because, I mean, I know I'm getting ready. I'm working on a lot of single content right now. But listen, I'm like, look, I'm in a marriage season, and I got a lot of marriage issues, and so I feel like that content is just as important. Okay, but anyway, we gonna get to it. So if y'all need to, go ahead and comment below. Like, but we need that ASAP. That's 911 information that we need. Because me and actually another a former guest that's been on the show, has her episode aired? I think so. We've been talking, and she's going through something similar. And we've been talking about, creating content system around this. So I don't know why we've been holding on to it. I think I've just been, like I said, I've been in this place, like, working on the single stuff, to where I've just kind of held on to this other side, this other conversation. But we need to get that content together, because, listen, wives is going through things too out here. You know what I'm saying? And, so I want to help people to become wives and stuff. But at the same time, too, look, when you become one, look, you might have to have some type of intercession and all this type of stuff for you and your marriage, because the enemy is out here trying to come at it at every end. So you gotta, are you ready for marriage for real? That's a whole nother conversation. Okay, let me get back to these verses. So, the next verse that I felt led to write down this morning was Matthew 5:44. It says, "But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Now that sounds good and stuff like that, but the reason I wrote that down this morning is, if that's what the Lord is asking us to do to our enemies, right, then how much more should we be doing that for the ones we love? Spouses, family, friends. If we're supposed to be praying for and loving our enemies and things of that nature, then what you think we're supposed to be doing for them people? Like at the end of the day, I see a lot of quotes about this. They talk about like, oh, don't just give your spouse the scraps and X, Y, and Z. You know what? Hey, I can see some validity to that. At the end of the day, like, if you gotta pray for your enemy, right, and those that persecute us and love them, then again, like, the word talks about us outdoing each other in love. I guess to those that we love, you know what I mean? Like, well, to everybody. But what I'm saying is, we're supposed to love our enemies and whatnot too. Let's do that for our spouses, right? Let's do that for our family and our friends and things like that as well. So, like I told the Lord this morning, I don't have no problem being an intercessor, Lord. If that's what you want me to do, you called me to be an intercessor. I had some different things that was kind of confirming that this morning, like random little phrases, but I guess I won't get into all of that because I've already been talking for I don't know how long. But anyway, so I'm cool with that, and I'm learning to be okay with understanding that God is interceding for me, and so I'm comfortable with that too. But at the end of the day, again, I share all this to say that at the end of the day, man, it's just I feel like it pays to be open, honest, and transparent. It pays to not pretend and act like you're perfect, and that you're squeaky clean, and like there's no issues going on and stuff like that. At the end of the day, life is life, and the enemy is real. If you're married and you out here trying to do things the right way and live according to God's will and the Bible and stuff like that, the enemy is gonna come for you in your marriage. I think that's the thing that makes me upset about the situation, knowing that part of this is the enemy. Yeah, I got a role to play. My husband got a role to play as well. I'm not gonna just try to put everything on say the devil made us do it or nothing like that. But that's a real battle. You know what I'm saying? As well. And so it's a spiritual battle. And so I say all that to say that the juice today is spiritual battles should be fought spiritually, and sometimes that might require intercession. And I guess that's the juice. That's the juice. Y'all can go deeper about that. I mean, there's only one verse that I put in the go deeper section. It's James 5:16. Just check that out. Let it marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. I hope that my, confession today has helped you guys understand a little bit more about me, maybe even this platform, maybe even hear all the things that God has shared through me today. And yeah, man, you're not alone if you're in this boat in any capacity. Again, you don't have to know the details about my situation. I don't need to know details about yours. But at the end of the day, if you're going through anything in your marriage, if you're going through anything, even as a single person or whatever the case may be, I get it. I can probably relate, and you're not alone. And yeah, that's it. That's the juice. Now, let me give you guys the Bible verse of today, and that's Matthew 5:9. It says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Anybody listening to the sound of my voice, hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Like I said, I have quite a few comments from this. Looks like a gentleman name. Let's see, goes by Amazing Lovecraft. So shout out to you for tuning in this morning and talking to me and stuff like that. I'm sorry I couldn't focus on what you were saying at that particular time, because like I said, I didn't write down anything. I just try to let the Lord talk through me. And like I said, I didn't know how much he wanted me to reveal about my personal situation. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I'm trying to let the Lord use me, y'all. I'm just trying out here now, Let me go ahead and go through these comments. So Amazing Lovecraft says, "Grand rising, beautiful lady. How are you doing, darling?" Well, I guess you got how I'm doing. I'm doing good though overall. Honestly, like I said, I've been in a good place mentally and stuff. That's why I was like, when I was receiving the dreams, I'm like, "Boy, Lord, look, I'm tired of dreaming and praying about this. Why I got to be the one?" But hey, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got to fight. You know what I mean? So I guess that's me. Then he says, "This good, you see your fallbacks and faults to elevate your inner spirit." Yes, indeed. Look, I feel like that's part of, sharing your testimony and, being honest about that. You can't grow, I guess, if you don't do that. So it says, "Sexual dreams are healthy base for one's relationship that doesn't take away your belief in God, Yahweh, one that's intuitive and of the heavens can speak to Yahweh God anywhere. Walk with me." Yeah. my dream wasn't necessarily sexual, but uh, it's something I think about a lot. So, I mean, and obviously, again, if I want to think about my husband, then I think about him in that way, and so it's, it's just one of those things. But anyway, if you live in the Midwest, you're going through 8 seasons, if not 10 seasons. No, well, we live in the South, but yep, probably same. There's Temptations and Obsessions, like those 2 movies. Films are heavy realities of daily existence. I don't know if I've seen the movies, but sometimes I was gonna joke with y'all about I'm a sexaholic or something. I don't know, man. I still don't know if I am or if it's just residuals off of, again, what I went through. But whatever it is, I prayed it away. I've tried to be like, Lord, take it away, and then I feel like I'd be like, well, it don't need to get taken away. And I'm like, well, Lord, look, help me understand why I got to go through. It's a whole journey, man. Anyway, it says, honestly, I want a serious, loyal, good helpmate in shape lady that absolutely about me and growing a healthy relationship and family of our own is the amazingly ideal goals. Well, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's possible, bro. Like, at the end of the day, like, I have a heart for my single people, and we tried to like put an idea out here to try to do a dating show here on the channel, but nobody responded when we put it out there. I guess I can put it out there again, and if you want to be one of our first guests on the dating show, you know what I'm saying? Where's a little bit of information about it? Let's see. I think I had it, unless I deleted it out of here. Oh, here it is. We was gonna virtue dates, like a virtual virtue dating with virtue type of show. I guess I could share, like, if you want to email us your info, and then hopefully we'll have some ladies and send over their info, and then we can do some matchmaking and see, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the show I did was called Virtual Date, and basically it was going to be a virtual dating experience. Because right now all of our shows are virtual, but one day, maybe your girl will be at the where I can, do some live stuff, and in-person experiences and whatnot. But until then, that's the best we can do probably right now. But I get it, man. I guess the thing is, the best thing I would say that I would say for you, sir, is to just prepare. You know what I'm saying? Prepare for that lady. Look, y'all could probably have your own set of issues. I'm not going to say like you're going to have the issues that I have. But hopefully by hearing this, what I'm saying won't be an issue, right, for you and your marriage, because you done heard this, you know what I'm saying? So, don't make your wife feel like somebody else could do your job better. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, always, I guess people swear by date nights and stuff on here when they come, different couples date. And that's something that me and my husband still haven't like really tapped into for real. We have it every now and then, like, a date night or something, but anyway. But yeah, well, I'll be praying for you and whatnot, and send over the email and we'll see about, if we can get that show going. So you saying exactly, and you said cool at one point, so I won't show those, but here's the next comment. You said nowadays it's disappointing, overbearing about of heartless, vile, evil, feminist females, delusions of grandeur, so sabotaging psychopaths, the surgery of deceit. My goodness, I guess it's hard out here for you, bro, and I get it. I've seen some stuff. I done watched the Pop the Balloon show. I get that it's and things like that definitely make me grateful for, again, my husband and our marriage, and to be on this other side, because I don't know if I want to be back where I was or nothing like that. It seemed like he was getting ready to go, but then it seemed like he might still be here. But anywho, but yeah, so I get it. It may be tough right now, but there's plenty, right? There's plenty of women that are, desiring love and marriage, and to honor and love and respect the gentleman, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. There's plenty of women that are still out here looking for that, and so I know it's easy to be like, go to your church, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. But there's these platforms, like, so there's some platforms that I've come across now that would have been nice for me to come across back when I was single. One is called what's the name? I probably have to go look it up. It's called, I think it's called the Sexless Tribe. And I know, we want the sex. I get it, but when you single, that ain't your calling at this particular time. Okay, your calling is either abstinence or celibacy. We're gonna have conversations about that too. I got content coming about that. But basically you called to one of them things. Now, if it seemed like you, brother, you want marriage, X, Y, and Z, so you're probably called to abstinence right now. So you need, right, to be around like-minded people, right? And so in order to, do that, I would say again, check out that group, check, it's called the Sexless Tribe. I see them posting all the time about people meeting up on there and getting married and having children and and stuff like that. So I mean, I say get around like-minded people. There's another gentleman that I coach every now and then. I've been trying to encourage him to get on there, but y'all men folk don't want to listen to ladies sometimes, so I don't know. But anyway, let me see what you were saying. There's a missed the early 2090s dating scene vibe needs to be alive in 2024. The world nowadays is out of control, not knowing there's only two genders. You're right about that, brother. Like I said, it's hard out here, man. And look, y'all got to check. The men folk got to check nowadays, too. Because they changing birth certificates out here. So, oh, Lord, I'm praying for you. Says y'all should have a date night twice a week. That would be nice. Shoot, can we do once a week? Crap. Look, I feel like I don't ask for too much. And I think that's the only thing that's the other thing that does frustrate me about my situation. Because I feel like if you watch the recent episode of GSL Talk Show, I think I talked about it then too. But those that watch this platform, y'all know I only got two things that I ask of my husband that ain't being, what's the face right now. He says, I'm a provisionated protector. Okay then, sir. He says, church been there, done that, women trifling. You might need to go find another ministry, get in a small group. I ain't gonna knock church, man. More men folk need to be at the church, honestly. So I'm not gonna talk again. Actually, that's one of my things that I wish my husband would come more. He comes every now and then, but I wish he would come with me and our son more to church. So that's one of my things. And if you really been watching this platform, then you know what my other thing is too. But we ain't got to get into that. But anyway, it says I can get ladies. There's just not the one for me. They're deceitful, unhinged. Okay, so I think first, bro, before you before you see your wife, you gotta it sounds like you need some healing with the way that you view women right now, to be honest with you. Because until you can like heal in that area, then any woman you saying on is you probably on like words that you're saying there. And even if she's not like that, and look, okay, look, we going deeper now. Look, this is the after show. So, and I'm gonna tell you, look, okay, so, so what had happened was, the reason why this is probably an important conversation, I guess, for you right now, bro. And I hope that you take what I'm saying and really think about it. You don't want to treat a new person, like an old person, right? Or like any of that, what you're saying about women. Like, say you meet this person, right? You meet her and she's all the things. Now listen, I only told the people this, but here it is. And if you watch this far to the show, then hey, hopefully it will help you and bless you by me being honest and open and transparent. So when I talked earlier this year about temptations and me questioning my marriage and stuff like that, basically, long story short, I had a couple of blasts from the past try to pick their head up. A couple of gentlemen that basically expressed their desires. Now, one was very, very bold and brazen and said all these things. Like, so on one hand, he presented himself to be a man of God. But on the other hand, like when he communicated with me, he was talking about some other stuff. And knowing that I'm a married woman, right? And it was tempting. It was tempting because of my situation, right? But there's a few things that quote unquote turned me off by that situation. One, I couldn't remember like what happened with us. So I think that was the thing that was like very confusing for me at that particular time. Because I'm like, because he knew me before I met my husband. And I'm like, why didn't I give you a chance? Why did I friend zone you? I felt like I remember friend zoning him, but I didn't remember why. And that was bothering me because I was like, right now you're being a temptation to me, but you're you, I don't get why I friend zoned you. And I don't remember, right? And I was trying to remember. But with him acting the way he was acting, right, and saying the things that he was saying to me, I was seeing that he wasn't what he was presenting himself to be, which helped me to focus again on my husband, right? So to God be the glory. Now let me tell you about the other gentleman. The other gentleman, he was more friendly with his conversation, more like, hey, it's just friends vibes. He never was bold brazen, saying no brazen out the way stuff. It would never cross that line, right? But the thing about him, so we kind of reminisced on what could have been, right? And what he shared with me was that, I guess at the particular time, because again, he knew me before I met my husband, okay? He shared with me that he was scared to move forward with me at that particular time because I felt too good to be true or something like that. Why am I sharing these things with you? I'm sharing these things with you, brother, because you don't want to be one of them gentlemen. You want to be and I'm not saying my husband, but you want to be who my husband is to me, right? Because when I thought about them two gentlemen, even though it was tempting, right? It was tempting. But the thing is, my husband, on the other hand, when I met him, he never gave me no impression to like that. Like he never made me question like what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like we went through the whole journey of becoming girlfriend, boyfriend, becoming fiancés, becoming husband and wife. You know what I'm saying? We went through the process. You know what I'm saying? He didn't feel as if now he might, right now I know he going whatever. I don't even fully understand what all we going through, but it's not that I don't feel like he doesn't love me or something like that, right? And so I say all that to say, like, at the end of the day, both of those situations made me appreciate my husband even more because I just was like, you know what, Lord, at the end of the day, he wasn't scared to, pursue dating, marriage, or any of the things with me as the one guy was, right? And then the other, and then when it comes to the other guy, like, maybe if the guy was a little bit more persistent, then maybe I wouldn't have friend zoned him or whatever the case may be, right? And so, again, my husband was that gentleman, if I guess after the friend thing, you let me go, whatever the case may be. So you wasn't as you're claiming you wanted me so bad or whatever, or you want me so bad now, whatever. But obviously not for me to go years later and then, end up with someone else. So I say all that to say that you gotta heal, brother, on this thing with the women and the way you viewing women right now. And then so then when your woman come or when you find her, because you the man, so when you find her or you see her, you'll acknowledge her and you will see her and you will go through the process with her, versus like wishing you did or something like that. You got me on here being super duper honest, but I hope you received that, or anybody that listens to the sound of my voice, if you needed that, I hope that you're encouraged and inspired by that and that you received what I just said. So anywho, you're talking about some more date night ideas. We got a whole little jar from Romantic Blessings of date night ideas that we ain't did, but I mean, but anyway, he goes, I'm cool. My parents didn't raise no fool. Well, all right. Okay. All right. All I'm saying is you don't want to be one of them gentlemen. You want to be one of them ones that you see your woman, you see her, you pursue her, you do all the things, you wife her, and you treat her as such, even after the marriage. And then all the stuff you're talking about the date nights, keep that up. Okay? Because you don't want her to go through mental temptation, da 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 da. You know what I mean? By not doing that. So you got all this, look, in advance. So you're welcome. Listen, unknowingly broke his mean women. Come on, date for free me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know if you heard anything I just said, but I done did a whole confessional and everything. So I'm done with you, amazing glove craft. I'm done with you. You ain't even listening to what I'm saying. He said I date with intention, romantic forever. Okay, well please do. Look, don't get with your woman, make her feel like you comfortable or something like that. He said, I appreciate you. I heard. All right. Okay. All right. Go look. I did a whole confession that only a few people know now. So you're welcome out here. I'm all on live. telling details. But I mean, yeah. But all right, man. That's some extra juice, man. Look, I gotta go be a mom and learning coach. So I keep a lady on her toes and blushing. Good. Do that. Look, saving marriages out here. Look, one testimony at a time. But yeah, y'all. Okay, well, I'm gonna let y'all go. It seems like if your heart and mind is clear, Mr. Amazing Lovecraft, okay, then all right, you go on now. Look, rebuke in the name of Jesus. Thank you. No, but yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful Monday, and yes, I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow if the Lord's will. All right, bye. All right.